a nice morning.
Good morning, Pasworth. Morning, Lucy. Where's Edward? Isn't he up yet?
He said he was going to work late on his book last night. He probably didn't finish it early hours in the morning. I was working with him till gone 10, so he probably isn't up yet.
And where's that boyfriend of yours, Lucy? I suppose he's still in bed, the lazy wretch. It's no wonder his father disowned him.
He didn't disown him, Margaret. He just disinherited him.
Well, it all amounts to the same thing. He's an absolute rogue, Lucy. He doesn't deserve anybody like you. He's a right
Morning, Mags, and may I be the first to pass my own personal ravishing views and how wonderful you look this morning. If only I wasn't in love with your younger sister.
We all have our doubts about that, you know. And how many times must I remind you my name is Margaret? Please do not call me Mags.
Morning, Lucy, and how lovely you look. I don't mean that this time. Hello, Nora.
Morning, Mr. Blanchard. I trust you to set well.
Like a log. Now then, are you going to stand there around there all day holding your gown round your neck, or are you going to put some clothes on? I mean, it's a little early in the morning for a Roman orgy.
I can stay like this all day if I wish. I'm the mistress of this house, and when I get control of it, you will be one of the first to go.
What do you mean control? You don't mean Edward's money, do you?
It isn't Edward's money yet. My father left it with Reverend Stringer to put in trust for all three of us. And until Edward's 40th birthday, it is all equally ours. Anyway, I haven't got time to talk to you all day. I've a home to run. Morning. How's Fulton this morning? I mean Mr. Fraser.
Hasn't had a very good night, I'm afraid. It's terrible to think that his love of horses has caused him so much pain and agony. I often wonder what might have happened if you and your brother hadn't been kind enough to let him stay here.
It was totally my brother's idea. We can ill afford to pay the likes of you, and it often puzzles me why my brother employed you anyway.
Please don't be offended by my sister's behaviour, Nora. She's always been the same. We've become immune to it. Sure, she means nothing personal.
Oh, don't worry. I've come across her sort before. I take everything nasty they have to say with a pinch of salt.
Talking of salt, could you pass a crepe, please, Lucy, darling? Better call the police. I can't use that phone. Nora, can you use a phone in the other room?
Yeah, right.
Poor Edward! We could have done such a horrible thing. He was such a kind man, he wouldn't harm a fly.
It'll take more than a fly to do that.
Good grief, what's all the fuss about? Edward, what has happened?
I called the police, they're on the way.
Who told you to do that?
My own common sense, you stupid woman.
Well, if the police are going to be parading all over the house, I suppose I better get dressed.
Come on, Lucy, I think you better rest.
I must attend Mr. Fraser. He'll be wondering what's happening.
Don't worry.
I'll fetch Miss Benedict for you.
Looks like there's been a crime committed here, Biggs.
Oh, yes, sir. Looks very nasty. Very, very suspicious, sir.
Oh, very suspicious, Biggs. Now then, don't touch anything until I've given it the once-over, Constable.
Sir, hadn't you better take that knife out, just in case there's some fingerprints on it, sir?
That's a very good idea, Constable.
No, sir, no, don't touch it with your hand, sir, because then your fingerprints will be on it. Use your hanky, sir.
Very good idea, Constable.
Oh, sir, it's a meat cleaver.
I think, Constable Biggs, you better go and tell all the occupants of the house I want to question them.
Okay, sir, I think I better.
excuse me. Oh, no. Oh.
Can I help you?
No! Oh!
Are you all right?
Yes, yes. Miss Benedict.
No, I'm Nora Padworth. I was Mr. Benedict's secretary. I just can't believe he's... Who are you?
Oh, sorry, miss. Let me introduce myself. Detective Inspector, just in time. I'm Miss Padworth. Could you give me any details?
Miss Benedict will be with you in a moment. Everything seems so different without Edward. Oh, Mr. Benedict's presence.
Oh, you don't look at all well, my dear. Why don't you go and lie down?
I can't. I have to look after young Mr. Fraser.
I'll look after him. Mr. Fraser and Mr. Benedict were co-author friends, you know.
He was badly injured in a nasty riding accident, and for the moment he's bedridden. That's why I have to look after him, sir, if you'll both excuse me.
Yes, okay.
It's awfully sad, Inspector. Mr. Benedict and Mr. Fraser were rivals in writing for a while, but then they decided to combine forces and make a good... That sounds awfully bad, Inspector.
It's a very bad cold, miss, and I can't get rid of the blessed thing. You know, my ex-wife used to make the best cold cure in the world. Never knew what she put in it, but it worked very well. Now I'm afraid I have to suffer in silence.
I'm sorry to have kept you waiting, but I've been rather distressed about this, and I had to put myself together. Someone has to keep a cool head, even though it is upsetting. Padworth, do you think you could organise some tea for Detective?
Oh, time, ma'am. Detective Inspector Time, at your service.
Who could have done such a terrible thing? Do you think it could have been a burglar?
A burglar, no. Well, is anything missing?
Well, at the moment it's very hard to tell, but something must have been stolen for him to be killed.
Oh, you just leave the detective work to me, miss. There is something you can do for me, however, if you'd be so kind. I'd like you to check all through the house to see if anything has gone missing. Now, if you permit me to use this telephone right here, I'd like to call the station and call in the doctor.
Well, if it's police business, perhaps you'd like to use the one in the dining room.
The one in the dining room, that'd be fine, yes. Ah, Biggs, would you go with Miss Benedict here? She'll show you the phone in the dining room. Call the station and ask for Dr. Stoker and tell him to get here quick.
Okay, sir.
Have you lost me, Inspector?
Oh!
Are you all right?
Yes.
Are you comfortable with me taking tea?
Oh, no, miss. No, he's on duty.
Sugar?
Oh, 3, please.
Okay, I'll fetch it for you.
Thank you. Ah, yes, good. I'd really like to interview all members of the household. Is there a private room I could use?
But what about Edward?
Oh, I apologise for the delay. You must appreciate we can't move the body until the doctor has examined it.
Oh, I understand that. Perhaps you'd like to use the dining room.
The dining room, that would be fine. Tell me, Miss Benedict, what was your relationship with your brother?
What do you mean?
Well, were you close?
Well, much more so than Lucy,
Who's Lucy?
my younger sister.
Ah, and why were you closer to Edward than Lucy?
Well, all she ever thought about was money.
Oh, but surely there's plenty to go around. I was always led to believe the Benedicts were a very wealthy family.
Excuse me, would you mind serving yourself? I've got things to do.
Oh, that's all right, miss. Oh, thank you.
Well, Edward and I were always very close. Our only arguments were over money, or should I say the lack of it. Sugar, Inspector?
Oh, 3, please.
It was only yesterday that we were discussing a ridiculous...
Father raised all 3 of us in this house, and it was big enough for us then, so it's big enough for us now.
I'm sick and tired of those so-called friends of yours being under my feet. The house just isn't big enough. I mean, in a common village, on a street no less. I've always dreamed of being in a large country mansion on a sprawling estate and having a proper family name.
The name was good enough for our father, so it's good enough for us.
And another thing, that pittance you call housekeeping just isn't enough. How you can afford to pay that nurse of yours, I'll never know.
Oh, I wonder when you bring her into it. Anne-Marie is a friend of mine.
And we all know what type of friend, though. All that money Father left, and we have to have the Reverend Stringer say-so to spend it. I don't have enough to keep the house properly.
Margaret, when I get control of the money, I may be able to make things a little easier for you. Until then, you'll just have to manage. I've never kept you short.
Why should you have all the say? Father was an idiot leaving it all to you.
He didn't leave it to me. I only control it. If anything happens to me, you'll do the same.
The sooner the better.
You and your brother did not appear to have a very amicable relationship.
Well, we did right up until Father died. We had wonderful times together, smashing holidays, but it all started to go wrong after he died.
So really, all the feuding between you and Edward was over money?
And Lucy.
Your younger sister?
Well, all she wanted was the money after she met that idiot.
Idiot?
Henry Blanchett, how I despise him.
Henry Blanchett? Now, isn't he the son of Lord Blanchett?
Yes, disinherited son. He's a gigolo. All he wants is her money.
Her money? But surely you're contradicting yourself, miss. A moment ago you told me there was no money.
Well, he thinks there is. He gets his board and lodgings free.
And why did Mr. Benedict put up with that?
Well, he absolutely doted on Lucy and she on him. He put up with everything, even him.
But you've just told me that you got on better with Mr. Benedict more than your sister.
Oh, that must be the doctor. I'll let him in.
Oh, good morning, Bill. How are you?
Morning,
I hope I
morning,
haven't
morning.
caught you at an inconvenient moment.
No. Yes, you have actually. You caught me in the middle of my lemons. Now then, Justin, I hope you haven't called me out here for nothing.
Oh, not really, Bill. No, this is Edward Benedict, and he certainly isn't taking a morning nap. Oh, this is Margaret Benedict.
We've met. Hello.
Now then, Bill.
Bless you.
Now then, Bill, as you can see, there's been a somewhat suspicious accident. I wonder if you would care to examine the body and give me all the clues you can. Oh, Miss Benedict, I would really appreciate it if you would leave the room now.
If that's what you want, I'll be in my room if you need me. I'm so exhausted. It's been a trying morning.
Very well, miss.
Now, Justin, let's get down to business, shall we? It's quite a long time since we've had anything quite as exciting as this. Bless you.
Yes, a long time since we worked together, Bill.
Yes, we don't normally need a doctor for traffic offences now, do you?
Well, Bill, what do you think about this?
Well, in my opinion, actually, I think you're coming down with a bad case of flu.
Oh, no, fool, what do you think about this?
Well, I can be certain of only two things, actually. One, he's dead, and two, unless he's got very long arms, it isn't, suicide.
Oh, come on, Bill, how long has he been dead?
Well, I would say, actually, being serious, I would say about 7 to 8 hours, but unless I make further tests, I can't be sure. This is just a bit of an estimate.
Did you know him well?
Well, no, I've been the family doctor since old Dr. Staines retired, that's some years ago. Old Dr. Staines, and they've always been a bit of a healthy lot, so I can't say I've had a lot to do with them. They all seem quite healthy, except for him, of course.
I see. Well, what do you mean until recently, Bill?
Well, I've been seeing the sister.
Margaret?
No, the younger one.
Lucy?
Yes, that's the one.
I didn't know she was ill.
She isn't. She's pregnant.
What about the father?
Well, I haven't examined him, but I shouldn't think he is.
Oh, no, come on, joking apart, Bill. Who is the father?
Well, your guess is as good as mine, but I certainly wouldn't need, 3 guesses.
What do you mean?
Well, by the way she's been carrying on with that, Blanchard chap.
Oh, yes, I've heard about him.
Bit of a bounder, I believe.
So I gather from Margaret Benedict she doesn't like him at all, you know. I shall have to question him.
But you can cross that, Fulton Fraser off your list.
Oh, you mean the invalid?
Yes, that's the one. I don't think you could even make it across the landing, let alone down the flight of stairs.
But where there's a will, there's a way.
Not in this case.
We'll see.
I'm very sorry to hear about Edward. I know you and he were very close.
Edward, did worry about us then?
Of course. That's why I'm so Oh, it's okay, I'll be alright. That horse has got a lot to answer for. As I was saying, Edward and I were close too, you know.
Yes, Edward was so distraught to think he'd caused you so much pain and agony.
Edward? Caused me pain and agony? It was he who helped me on the road to recovery. What do you mean, Anne-Marie?
No, I've said too much already.
No, please, you must tell me.
Edward will never forgive me.
Edward has gone. Anyway, you both owe it to me to tell me
But
the
you'll
truth.
hate him even though
I
he's...
could never hate Edward. He was like a father to me.
Very well. It began when we started seeing each other. We had to be so discreet because of the age difference.
Of course I love you, my darling. Surely I've proved that to you.
Proved it? I can't stand all this secrecy. It's as if you're ashamed of me.
Ashamed of you? I'm so proud of you.
Well, why can't I meet your family?
All my family are such snobs, especially Margaret.
Well,
If she knew that I was seeing a girl half my age, my life and Lucy's would be hell. All she thinks about is money.
But I just can't go on like this. You're going to have to choose. It's either me or your family.
Oh, please, don't make me make a choice like that.
Or maybe it might be a good idea if we break what little relationship we have right now.
Oh, don't say that, darling. I don't know what I'd do without you.
Well, that's up to you. I've been offered a good job.
A job? That's the first I've heard of it.
I've only just heard myself. Remember, I'm a fully qualified nurse now. And I've been offered a good job looking after a wealthy widower.
A widower?
Oh, don't start getting jealous, Edward.
But I am.
He's ancient, even more so than you.
Thank you.
Oh, Edward, I didn't mean it. Please forgive me. I do love you, but I just can't stand all this. I can't stand all these secret once-a-week meetings.
Look, darling, when I eventually get control of Dad's estate, right, I'll see that Margaret and Lucy are well taken care of, and I've changed my will. Everything else will be left to you.
You would do all that for me?
Of course I would. Surely that proves how much I love you. Just think, darling, we'll be able to do anything we like together, anything.
But I've had enough already. I can't go on any more.
Oh, I'll sort something out.
But what? I've got to work for a living, you know, like anyone else.
Work for me.
Oh, don't be silly. I can't set foot in your house as a visitor, let alone work there.
Wonder.
What are you thinking?
Oh, would it work?
What? What would work?
If I was sick, I mean really sick, Margaret wouldn't or couldn't look after me full time, but a nurse could.
You don't mean...
Yes. Now let's see. We've got to work this out really well because Margaret's a very suspicious person, so we've really got to convince her.
Well, come on then, tell me.
Well, the next time I go out with the hunt, I could have an accident, a bad accident.
Well, that's stupid, Edward. It could go wrong.
Yes, but I'm a good enough horseman to know how to fall properly.
But if you're such a good horseman, you wouldn't fall.
I would if the bridle snapped.
Oh, darling, would it work? Just to be with you all day and all night.
Oh, you cheeky thing. I do love you.
So that's what we planned, but it all went wrong.
Wrong? What do you mean? What happened?
Well, it was the next hunt that Edward prepared Satan.
Satan? That's the horse I rode.
Yes, but Edward didn't know you was riding in the hunt.
That's the bloody horse that left me like this.
Thornton, please.
I rode that beast, and the bridle snapped.
Yes, but...
It wasn't an accident, you bitch. And as for Edward...
Edward cut the bridle.
Oh my God. It's all your fault.
Thornton, please, it was a mistake. Edward was all ready to go on the hunt. We had a telephone call from the vicar. It was when he left, you arrived and took his horse. You told the stable boy it would be all right.
All right? You did this to me. Get out of here! I've always found him pleasant enough. Perhaps a bit of a prude. Still very fair. It's the only reason why I'm still in this house.
Yes. Yes, I understand that you and Miss Margaret don't exactly hit it off.
That, my dear Inspector's an understatement.
I shall have to ask you some pretty personal questions, of course.
Concerning?
Your relationship with Miss Lucy?
That's none of your business.
I believe it is.
I mean, you're going to question my personal life?
When it comes to murder, Mr. Blanchett, nothing is personal.
Are you suggesting I murdered Edward?
I am not suggesting anything, but I have my job to do. And let's face it, you do have a motive.
Such as?
Money.
How dare you?
I dare! It's a well-known fact that you're a bit
Well,
of a...
go on, say it.
Call it what you like, Mr. Blanchett, but your reputation has somewhat preceded you. And it's a well-known fact that your father disinherited you.
I could have you for slander, Inspector.
Slander, sir? I don't think so. One does need witnesses for that sort of thing.
I'll stand this drivel no more. If you need me, I'll be around. Now I must find Miss Lucy.
Ah, yes. Miss Lucy. She's the one person I'd really like to question. Could you perhaps ask her for me?
I don't think that Miss Lucy is in any fit state to undergo one of your interrogations. She's quite rightly very upset about her brother's death.
Oh, Henry, I'm just taking Lucy for a walk.
I thought that's the last thing you want to do at a time like this.
Edward loved this dog and I loved Edward, so I'll do what he would have wanted. Anyway, it's none of your business.
Well, well, the plot thickens. Who would have believed it, good old Edward? Mind you, I admire his taste.
God, you're so conceited. You think that any girl comes running whenever you fancy. Well, this time you've no chance. How young Lucy could fall for someone like you, I'll never know. Don't you dare touch me.
I like a girl with spirit.
Well, you're wasting your time with me.
We'll see.
Oh, Mr. Blanchett, is everything all right?
Oh, hello, Nora. I was just admiring the view.
Do you think we can get for you?
Yes, I am feeling a little bit peckish, and breakfast was spoiled this morning by all that excitement. Is lunch prepared?
No, Lucy's going to organise that, but she's been so upset she can't find a board. I think it'd be a good idea if I prepare some sandwiches for everyone. Are the police still here?
Yes, they are. The sooner they're gone, the better.
Why, has it upset you?
Yes, it's his attitude, that pig ignorant inspector.
You've nothing to hide, you've nothing to worry about.
I've nothing to hide. Where's Lucy?
She's asleep far with you. I've let her rest for a while. She's been so upset. The next few weeks is going to be hard for all of us. Lucy's going to need as much sleep as she can get.
Yes, I won't disturb her. Just check on her and let me know if she needs anything.
Okay then. Is the inspector still in the study?
No, he's in the dining room.
Oh, I suppose I better get over and done with. I'm dreading seeing him.
Fine. Nothing to hide. Nothing to worry about.
Come on, Mitzi. Come on, Mitz. Come on, Mitzi. Mitzi, come on. Mitzi, come on.
Come in. Ah, Miss Padsworth, isn't it? Come in. Won't you sit down, miss?
Thank you, Inspector.
It's all right, miss. There's nothing to be nervous about. Now then, Miss Padsworth, how long have you known Mr. Benedict?
Ever since he started on his new book.
Oh, his new book, yes. I understand this was to be his first non-fictional work.
Yes, he's always written novels, mostly historical fiction. But ever since he became friends with young Fulton Fraser, he became obsessed by his book, or rather their book. It really brought them together. Until the project, they became ardent rivals, not only in work, but in their private lives too. In fact, they didn't even like one another.
I see. And when they started work on their new book, I suppose it brought them together.
Yes, very much so.
I see. Why do you think that was?
Well, Inspector, I suppose when they realised that by combining their talents, they could produce a good book. Yes, I remember very well now.
Oh, Nora, if I can talk Fulton Fraser into collaborating with me on this project, I think we could have a potential bestseller. What with his local knowledge and these documents I've uncovered. You see, this area was one of the most notorious smuggling towns in the whole of Britain.
Really? It all sounds very exciting.
With Fulton, myself, and I hope you to assist us, we could make a fortune with this book.
Oh, Edward, you know I'd love to work with you. When would you want me to start?
As soon as you can. I'm seeing Fulton tomorrow. He seems quite keen, so there should be no great problems.
It sounds wonderful. What are those documents you have?
Well, in the early 1700s, raids between Coppleton and France took place almost every night. Towns were looted in England one night, and then revenge the next. On one occasion, the raid by Coppleton proved really fruitful, and by all accounts, a fortune in gold and jewels was brought back. That's when the fun really began.
I'm really getting into this. Tell me more.
Well, it's the old story. When It was just the usual raid with looting of booze, the odd trinket. The booty was always split between smugglers. However, on one particular occasion, they stole a lot of valuable treasures. And as I said before, the old story came into play, greed.
What happened?
Everyone wanted to get their greedy little hands on it. The fools. If only they had shared it, there would have been enough to go round. And then they would have been wealthy. But no, they all wanted it for themselves.
So, what happened to the treasure?
No one really knows. In the end, no one got it. There were betrayals, even murders over the whereabouts of it. The Crown eventually stepped in, but by then, the loot had vanished.
Vanished?
Yes, someone had the bright idea to hide the treasure until the time when it was safe to claim it for themselves.
And?
Whoever hid the loot was either murdered or just died of old age.
So it's still hidden then?
Correct. That's where these documents come into use.
You mean like some kind of treasure map?
Well, it's not quite as simple as that. The documents are a complete record of the raids that took place, plus all the history of events that happened right here in Cobbleton in those days.
But what about the treasure?
There is a map, and that, my dear Nora, is the key to where the treasure is hidden.
How exciting, I can't wait to get started. Then on, Inspector, we worked as a team. Mr. Benedict, Mr. Fraser and myself.
How interesting. And tell me, Mr. Padsworth, did you ever get to discovering the secret of the map?
Oh no, I don't see the documents. Mr. Benedict and Mr. Fraser keep all the documents. I just do all the secretarial side of it, but I'm sure they're on the verge of discovering the secret.
Well, Miss Padsworth, it would definitely appear that there was a motive for Edward Benedict's death.
Whatever do you mean, Inspector?
Well, it seems fairly obvious that he discovered the secret of the map.
But who could do such an awful thing?
Is Fulton Fraser completely bedridden?
Practically, he can just about get out of bed with the edge of a stick.
This one?
Come on, Mitzi.
Oh, it's you, Constable Biggs. I didn't see you there, man.
No, sir. I'm sorry to distract you. I can see you're extremely busy.
Oh, this little thing. Well, there certainly is a lot of meditation work to be done in this case, Constable. To put it bluntly, Biggs, I'm baffled. You see, every person I interview in this case seems more guilty than the last. Yet I am sure they're all innocent, but are all trying to hide something.
I know what you mean, sir.
What do you mean, you know what I mean?
Well, sir, this family, they've always been a bit of a mystery around here, sir.
A mystery? Explain yourself, man.
Well, sir, it's common local knowledge that they're a rather weird lot, sir, if you know what I mean.
What do you mean a weird lot? Explain yourself, Constable.
Well, sir, since the death of old man Benedict, there's been some right funny goings-on round here, if you know what
Yes, Biggs, I know what you mean. What do you mean, funny goings on?
Well, Miss Margaret and that there Reverend Stringer, they was courting, all set to be wed, sir.
Yes, man, go on.
Well, sir, all of a sudden, the vicar stopped courting her.
For what reason?
Well, sir, that Reverend, he's a right mystery, if you ask me, sir.
I am asking you, man.
Well, sir, it's not really my place to say so, but I think old man Benedict objected to Miss Margaret seeing the Reverend, sir.
Oh, I see. You know why?
Well, sir, it's something Mr. Benedict and that man, that young man.
Mr. Fraser.
That's the one, sir. They was working on some books.
Oh, the book about Cobbleton.
Yes, sir, that's the one. And apparently, in the book, there's something about some hidden treasure
Yes,
around in
man,
these
go on.
parts, sir. And the vicar knew more than he were letting on.
Yes, man, go on.
Oh, that's it, sir.
That's it.
Yes, apparently, after all the fuss, Miss Margaret stopped seeing the vicar, and that was it.
I see. Ah, well, the mystery deepens, it does indeed. Where did you get this information from?
Oh, it's from a very reliable source, sir.
I know that a reliable source, but where did you get it from?
Old Miss Arnold, sir.
Old Miss Arnold, who's she?
She runs a local post office, sir.
A local post office, is that all, man? Do you take me for a fool? This is all idle gossip.
No, sir, she also runs a local telephone exchange.
She's not the sort of person that listens into other people's private conversations now, is she?
Well, sir, it's not for me to say whether she does or she doesn't, but I knows one thing. If you want some information round here, Miss Arnold's the one to talk to, because she's got your information, sir.
How dare you, Constable Biggs? Get out of here! If you think I would stoop so low as to listen to other people's private conversations on the telephone, get out of here and be about your duties.
Okay, sir. I shall see you later.
Exchange?
Oh, hello. Would that be Miss Arnold speaking?
Yes. Which number would you require?
Oh, good, because this would be Constable Biggs speaking.
Oh, hello, Ernie. I didn't recognise your voice.
Oh, no, you wouldn't. I got a bit of a cold.
A cold? I hope you've been keeping yourself well.
Yeah, I have now then, Miss Arnold.
What's this Miss Arnold business? You've always called me Emily.
Have I? Oh, Emily.
How's your mum?
Oh, she's fine.
Fine. She's made a quick recovery, hasn't she?
Recovery?
I was only talking to Miss Braithwaite this morning and she said she's taken a turn for worse.
Oh, she did, but today she's better.
Oh, good. And Dolly?
Dolly?
Yes, and she had a checked.
Had what?
Oh, Ernie, what's the matter with you? The baby!
Oh, the baby. Oh, I don't know if she's had. Now, listen, can you tell me about...
Oh, she was so excited, wasn't she?
Oh, very excited, Emily. Now, listen, can you tell me...
I hope she gets what she wants.
I'm sure she will. Now, listen, can you tell me about...
Did you know Auntie Nora? She's not at all well, you know.
Isn't she?
Oh, Ernie, what's the matter with you? Ever since you've joined that police force, you've got thicker and thicker.
Oh, I know,
what
Emily.
You're coming to?
I've been very unwell lately.
Not well?
No.
What's been wrong?
Oh, I don't know what's been wrong. Now, listen, can you tell me about...
There's a lot of it about, you know.
A lot of what about?
A lot of what you've got.
What have I got?
What you said you've got. Oh, come on, Ernie. What's the matter with you? You've got to go to the doctors.
Yeah, I'll see the doctor. Now, listen,
We
can
don't
you...
want you poorly, you know. You know what the town won't be able to do without you.
Now, listen, woman, would you please help me?
Don't put that attitude with me. You're still not too big to me to take your trousers down and put you over my knee.
Who do you think you're talking to, woman?
You! And if you think I can stand around here gossiping to you all day, you've got another thing coming. Oh.
Come in.
Hello, Fulton. How are you?
Lousy.
I'm sorry to hear that. I thought you were on the road to recovery.
Recovery? This should never have happened in the first place.
Oh, well, that's fate. Accidents do happen.
Accidents? This was no accident. This was a mistake.
I don't understand.
Well, Edward had arranged it for himself to have the form.
Will you be needing me any more this evening, sir? As I've some rather important business to attend to at the station.
No, you can go for now, Biggs. I'll see you in the morning. If you want to contact me, I'll be staying at the local inn.
Okay, sir.
I'll see you in the morning, Constable, all right?
Okay, so good night, sir.
Have a nice night.
Good night, sir.
So, here I am, an invalid, and all because of his stupid games.
That's some story. What's you going to do about it? Surely you...
I'm going to get every penny he ever had.
How can you? It's all in trust.
I'll find a way, and it won't be for a small amount either.
Is there a lot then?
Enough.
I understand there was some mention of treasure.
How do you know about that?
I have my ways.
That's supposed to be a closely guarded secret just between the two of us. I suppose Edward's told you all about it.
Yes, he did confide in me rather a lot.
That was supposed to be just between the two of us for future books. We would have been worth millions.
He was a little unreliable, but Fulton, we can do it. The two of us.
How much do you know?
A considerable amount.
Do you know about the map?
Yes.
Have you seen it?
Not exactly. I mean, do you have it?
No. Edward always keeps it with his papers, or did.
Fulton, you look tired. I'll see you soon. You rest now, and I'll come back later.
I can't trust you.
Of course you can. We're friends. Dolly, what are you doing up out of bed?
Don't touch me, just leave me alone.
But my angel, what have I done?
Done, everything, just leave me alone.
I know you're upset about Edward's death, but...
Upset, you must be joking.
What's wrong? I thought you loved Edward.
Loved, yes, but if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be in this condition.
Condition? What condition?
I'm pregnant, Henry.
You're kidding, of course.
How I wish I was.
But I don't understand. Why blame your brother?
Oh, Henry, all I wanted was to be with you, to marry you, but Edward wouldn't hear of it.
So you thought by getting...
Yes, I thought that if you told Edward I was expecting your baby, then he'd have to give his permission.
Well, why didn't you tell me?
I was going to, I just had to wait for the right moment.
And you think this is the right moment?
Oh, my darling. What's wrong?
Let's not be too hasty. This needs thinking about.
What do you mean thinking about? What's going to stop us now?
Well, my sweet, I don't think I'm ready for marriage.
Why, you've been using me. I hate you.
Oh, you're here, are you? I thought I heard Lucy.
I must congratulate you on your superpowers of observation, Mags. Come on, Mags, join me.
What a pig you are.
Takes one to know one, as they say.
Have you seen Mitzi?
Mitzi who?
My dog. I haven't seen her all day.
Anne-Marie took her for a walk. Isn't she back?
No.
Don't worry about it. Come over here and join me for a drink. I know how you like your alcohol.
Don't you think it's a bit strange, though, she hasn't returned? I hope she hasn't done anything stupid.
Stupid?
Yes, the silly girl was besotted with Edward. I couldn't care less about her, but if anything's happened to my dog...
Don't worry, she'll be back.
Well, that must be her now. She's probably forgotten her key. What do you want?
My dear, I'm so sorry.
Don't make me laugh. You're never sorry.
That is very unkind. I care more than you will ever know. Look, I came round to see if there's anything I can do.
Oh, please come in, Matthew. It's so good to see you.
Oh, that's what I've been waiting for you to say.
I'm sorry for talking like that to you out there, Matthew. Would you like a drink?
No.
I've been through so much these past hours. It's really nice to speak to someone who cares.
Margaret, you know I've always cared. It's part of my job to care for people.
That's the trouble, Matthew. You care for too many people. I just want you to love me for myself.
But Margaret...
Hi, Vic! Started for business, are we?
What do you mean?
Come to arrange the funeral.
Oh, how could you?
I'll deal with you later.
Matthew, hang on a mo. You've got the information I require.
What the hell are you doing here?
Oh, hi, partner. Say, you've made a remarkable recovery.
Oh, yes. I had to find the map.
Thinking of double-crossing me, are you?
Of course not. We had a deal, remember?
But why all the pretence?
What do you mean?
Well, if it hadn't passed your notice, my dear boy, you're supposed to be an invalid.
Well, I can still get around. I had to put on an act so I could stay in the house. I knew that all the time I was bedridden, Edward would look after me.
You're much more devious than I thought.
I'm not devious. I deserve everything I can get.
Listen, we've got to find this map. Otherwise, we both end up with nothing. How about that Stringer fellow?
Oh, the vicar. Why should he have the map?
Well, he's the trustee to the Benedict's estate. By putting two and two together, the most obvious hiding place is the church.
Oh, it all makes sense now. When I had the map, it made no sense to me. But on reflection, it could have been a plan of the church.
We're getting somewhere at last.
Yes, but where is the map?
Stringer must have it.
But what do we do now?
You leave that to me.
Morning, Mr. Blanchett. Didn't expect to see you here.
Yeah, give me a large one, Tally. Morning. Morning.
Been a lot of trouble, then.
That's an understatement.
Poor Anne-Marie.
Anne-Marie?
Well, first Mr. Edward, then Anne-Marie.
What are you on about?
Dr. Zucker was in here just a few moments ago. We needed to use the phone. We just found her body.
Oh my God, where?
The bottom of Cobbleton Cliff. Seems she went over the top.
Poor kid. Can I use your phone?
There we are, sir.
Get me the rectory. Stringer, Blanchard here. Yes, I'm sorry about that. Little worse for wear. Yes, I am sorry. Now listen, we've got to meet. No, the sooner the better. No, I can't say over the phone. No, I can't. The quayside. Yes, it's quiet there. Yes, about 1 o'clock. Yep, that's out. Okay. Yeah, sure. Okay, see you then. Oh, sorry, I'm in a rush.
I should say so. What's the hurry?
I've just heard about poor Anne-Marie.
Oh, yes, tragic. Oh, it's tragic. She was a lovely girl.
Listen, I must go. I have an appointment.
I should say you do. And the inspector. Oh, Inspector Time is looking for you.
What for?
Well, is that, do you have one of them gun? Do you have a gun?
No. What are you getting at?
Oh, Miss Anne-Marie. She was shot.
My God, I must go.
Oh, morning, Ned. Oh, she's a suspicious chap, that. Vicious.
If you ask me, it's all very suspicious.
Sorry I'm late. I've just heard the awful news about Miss Anne-Marie. God bless her.
This is all getting very involved, and you know more than you're letting on.
I beg your pardon?
Now, come off it, man. You're up to your clerical collar in this.
I don't know what you're talking about.
For God's sake, Stringer, don't take me for a fool.
Look, I am a man of the cloth. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Don't think you can get away with this all on your own.
Get away with what?
For God's sake, man, we can do a deal.
I'll do no deals with you. Now, stand out of my way. The inspector wants to see me.
What for?
The obvious. Goodbye.
So how long do you think she's been dead, Bill?
Well, I should say about, quite a long time. However, one thing I am sure about, and that is that she was dead before she hit the bottom of the cliff.
It's very, very tragic, you know. She seemed such a nice kid.
I didn't really know her that well.
Ah, Biggs, just the man I want to see.
Oh, sir.
We must get to the root of all this before anyone else makes an early exit. I want to question everyone, and I mean everyone.
Who would you log in first, sir?
Well, who's in the house?
Miss Benedict, sir. She's, in the kitchen slaving over her cauldron.
The young one?
No, sir, the old witch.
That's enough of that, man. Remember your place. She's been through an awful lot of upset since her brother's death, and now I've got to inform her of the nurse.
Well, quite frankly, sir, she don't seem all that bothered, if you know what I mean. All she seems interested in is the whereabouts of her confounded dog.
Her dog?
Yes, sir. Apparently it's been missing since yesterday.
Really?
Yes, Miss Anne-Marie took it out for a walk and ain't been seen since.
Now that is interesting. So the dog could be a vital key to this mystery.
If you find the dog, I'm sure we'll be able to give you all the information you require. Like who the killer is.
That may seem like a joke to you, Bill, but you could very well be right.
What do you mean?
Well, if the dog was with Anne-Marie when she was killed, it won't be very friendly towards the murderer. And on assumption that the murderer is a frequent visitor to this house, we need the dog back to check their reaction to the return of the dog. If we get the dog back...
That'll do, Constable. Remember, I'm the detective, you're the constable.
What's the difference?
About £10 a week.
That'll do, Biggs. Make yourself useful and show Miss Benedict in.
Sir. Yes, sir.
Now then, Bill, if you could let me have the exact time of Anne-Marie's death, I'd be really grateful.
I suppose you do need all the clues you can get. After all, you're no nearer finding out who the killer is than when you first arrived this morning.
Oh, why is everyone against me today?
Oh, I'm sorry, Justin. It's just that we're all on edge with this sort of killer roaming around. You know, it's hardly a relaxing subject now, is it? I'll tell you what, I've got to come up and see young Mr...
Oh, Mr. Fraser?
Yes, young Mr. Fraser, and as soon as I've seen him, I'll make a start on your post-mortem. Is that okay?
Come in.
Miss Margaret Benedict to see you, sir.
Is this absolutely necessary, Inspector?
You've heard the latest news, then?
You found my Mitzi?
Oh, leave us, Biggs, and I'll see you later, will ya? Oh, Bill, you've forgotten your bag. I think you had better sit down, miss.
I don't need telling in my own house. I'll stand, thank you.
Please yourself, miss, please yourself. Fulton Fraser's nurse has been murdered.
When?
Sometime yesterday. I believe she was walking your dog.
Oh, my God, is Missy all right?
That I couldn't say. The dog hasn't been seen since.
Oh, if anything's happened to that dog, I just don't know what I'll do.
You seem more concerned for the dog than Miss Anne.
So I should. It's good riddance to bad rubbish as far as I'm concerned.
And what about your brother?
Oh, he's got all he asked for.
When did you last see Anne-Marie, miss?
Oh, I'm not sure. Yesterday, I think.
You sure you haven't seen her since?
No.
Ah, you're not sure.
Of course I'm sure.
Perhaps yesterday evening.
What are you getting at?
Did you go out yesterday?
No, I didn't. Mr. Time, I hope you're not pointing the finger of suspicion at me.
I suspect everyone, including you, Miss Benedict.
Oh, don't be silly, Inspector. Why on earth would I want to murder my brother, let alone his friend's nurse?
Why? Why? Well, not to put too fine a point on it, there is the money. Remember the fortune that automatically comes to you now that Edward's dead? And before you interrupt me, Edward could have seen to it that his will was changed, so that Anne-Marie got left something or everything in his will. Therefore, you would have to dispose of her, wouldn't you? Hadn't you better answer the door, Miss Benedict? Miss Benedict, the door.
Oh.
Good afternoon, Inspector.
There's hardly anything good about it, Reverend.
Yes, I've just heard the terrible news about Miss Anne-Marie.
Oh, you knew her well, then?
Not really, however, she did attend a few of my sermons.
A religious type, was she?
No, I wouldn't say that, but certainly not a disbeliever.
I thought you said you didn't know her well.
No, I didn't, but it is my job to know how much a person believes. Do you believe, Inspector?
It all depends what you're talking about, Reverend. If you're talking about him up there, then I suppose the answer has to be yes. And if you're referring to this case, I believe we could have our murderer very soon.
Well, young man, your case has got me completely mystified. To all intents and purposes, you should be up and about.
To all intents and purposes, I shouldn't be in this condition.
You're very bitter.
So would you be if you knew what happened to me.
Would you like to tell me about it?
There's no point.
You know, with a stick, you should be walking.
Where's Anne-Marie?
Haven't you heard?
Heard what?
Well, were you and her... Were you close?
What do you mean, were?
I'm afraid she's... dead.
Dead? How? When?
They found her at the bottom of Cobbleton Marsh. She'd been shot and then pushed over the edge.
When is this all going to end?
I'm afraid I just don't know. The sooner the better, I hope. Some people just don't seem safe around here anymore.
You can go for now, miss, but I'd appreciate it if you didn't leave the house.
I've no intention in leaving. I'll see you later, Matthew.
Goodbye.
Biggs! Biggs! Biggs!
You called, sir?
Where have you been, man?
Waiting for you to call, sir.
See if you can find Henry Blanchett.
I'm afraid he's out, sir.
What do you mean he's out?
Well, he's not in, sir, if you see what I mean.
Of course I see what you mean. What I mean is, where is he?
If I may interrupt, Inspector, I saw Henry Blanchett at the quayside a short time ago.
The quayside?
Yes, he wanted to see me.
About what? See if you can find him, Biggs.
Yes, sir.
Now then, Reverend. Why would Henry Blanchett want to see you? He'd be the last person I'd expect who'd want repentance for his sins.
It was some cock and bull story about doing a deal. The man appeared to me to be a fool.
I don't think so.
That, Inspector, is a matter of opinion.
Oh my word. Here. Mr. Fraser, was he tap dancing round the room when you went in?
Well, he's getting better, but he's very bitter about his accident.
He's getting better, all right. I found his walking stick, which means he managed back upstairs without it.
Oh, someone helped him. You police are really on the lookout for suspicion, aren't you?
If you don't mind, I'd like to speak to Margaret. Please excuse me.
Excuse me, Inspector, there's a telephone call for you. Just go through.
Oh, thank you, Miss Benedict. Excuse me, Reverend. I'll see you later, Bill.
Margaret, can we talk?
I was just about to say that to you, Matthew. Excuse us, Doctor.
Very well, very well.
Detective Inspector Time speaking. Oh, it's you, Biggs. What do you mean you're at the station? Who told you to go there, man? Where's Blanchett? Now look, don't argue with me, man. I'm your detective. What do you mean? He's what? Why didn't you tell me earlier? Where did this happen? I see. Okay, listen, stay where you are. Stay at the station. I'll come and join you. Get everything prepared for me, though. I don't want to spend too much time away from here. Fine, I'll see you later, Biggs.
More bad news, Justin?
Yes, it's Henry Blanchett.
He's not,
I'm afraid he is, Bill. Apparently he drowned, but had rather a serious head wound.
Head wound? Now, Justin, you're running out of suspects, you know. Your murder is going to materialise sooner than you think. In fact, you'll be the only, one left.
We better get down to the station, Bill.
Me as well.
And you, yes. You know something, Bill? Whoever our murderer is, they certainly are dedicated.
What?
Margaret, my dear, you look so pale. What's wrong?
Matthew, I'm so afraid.
There, my dear. I'll look after you.
How long is this going to go on for? I just can't take any more. I just want my Mitzi back.
Mitzi?
I miss her so much.
My dear Margaret, you surprise me. I would have thought there were more important things for you to be concerned about.
That's it. You're just like the rest of them. That's why I want my Mitzi back. She's the only one who ever showed me any affection. The only one who ever loved me. Not you, not them. Get out and leave me alone.
Please, Margaret.
Just get out!
If that's what you want, we'll talk later.
No, we won't. If I had my way, I'll never speak to you again now. Get out!
Oh, hello, Nora. I've been looking for you.
Hello, Lucy. What's happening now?
Oh, questions, questions, questions. Ever since that inspector's got back from the station, all he does is want to question people. Oh, he's a bore, you know. Why can't he just leave us alone? All he keeps going on about is Anne-Marie and Edward.
He's only trying to do his job, Lucy.
I know, but why does he keep picking on me all the time?
It's not just you, it's all of us. You know, he's going through a bad stage too, you know. His wife's left him. And like I say, he's only trying to do his job. Don't you want Edward's murderer found?
Oh, of course I do. It's just I'm so tired.
Excuse me, ladies. Miss Lucy, may I have a word with you? I'll be out in a moment.
Excuse me, here we go again.
Don't worry, have patience, my dear.
I know, but I just can't help it.
There's something I didn't tell you earlier. I'm afraid I've got some bad news. sorry to interrupt you again, ladies, but has anybody seen Reverend Stringer?
Yes, Inspector, I've seen him inside. You look after Lucy and I'll go and fetch him for you.
No, Nora, I'll fetch him. I want to film my own anyway.
A lovely day, miss.
Yes, Inspector, but not the circumstances.
No, ma'am, no, it's a very rum business indeed. And when a case like this comes up, I hardly ever get home. That's one of the reasons why my wife left me, you know.
Inspector,
Of course, I blame her mother, the interfering old witch.
But Inspector, I've got a...
She said the final straw was her drinking, but she blamed me for that. I ask you, it wasn't as if I held a bottle up to her mouth, now was it? Incidentally, have you noticed how much Margaret, Miss
Want
Benedict...
to see me time?
Ah, Reverend.
If you please excuse me, I've got things to do. Get out of my way.
Ah. Oh. Now then, Reverend, I think it's high time you and I had a little chat.
I really have nothing to say, Inspector.
Come, Vicar, I think you know more than you're telling me.
I don't follow you.
Rather strange that Mr. Blanchett decides to take a swim soon after your chat. Sit down.
How can you be so callous?
Callous or not, don't you think it's rather a coincidence that he dies soon after your meeting? I think you know more about this case than you're letting on, Vicar.
I don't know what you're talking about.
How long have you controlled the family's finances?
Ever since Edward's father, old man Benedict, died 5 years ago.
I see. Why were you made the trustee?
Why not? My father and old man Benedict were very good friends. Had been for years, so it was a natural choice for me to take over the estate.
Is there much money in the estate?
A fair amount.
Tell me about the map.
What map?
Look, Vicar, I'm no fool. 3 people are now lying dead in the morgue, and it appears they all had some knowledge of this here treasure that's hidden away. Now you're trying to tell me you know nothing about the thing.
As I told Blanchett, I know nothing.
So you did discuss this with Henry Blanchett. You've just told me that you didn't.
You're confusing me now. I didn't discuss it. He did. I'm telling you like I told him. I know nothing. And now if you've finished, Inspector, please may I go? I'm a very busy man.
We all are, Vicar, but we cannot run away from murder. Oh, my goodness. Ugh. I think you'd better give me that gun, miss.
Inspector, you must let me explain.
I don't think that would be necessary. Actions do speak louder than words.
Matthew, is he?
Ah, you're not to go to him, miss. You did pull the trigger.
I must go to him.
It's too late for that, miss. I must caution you that anything you say may be taken...
I didn't do it.
May be taken down and used as evidence against you. And as for you telling me that you didn't do it, well, this says all. Aha, Miss Lucy, you took your time getting here, didn't you? You did hear the shot.
Inspector, how can you be so cruel? Can't you see she's upset?
Of course I heard the shot. I went to see if Fulton was okay.
And was he?
Inspector, I think it'd be a good idea if I take her upstairs.
Very well, very well. I am sorry I snapped at you, Lucy.
Inspector, you must listen to me. I ran into the passageway, saw the gun lying there, so my immediate reaction was to pick it up.
A fine story, miss. You'll be able to tell the whole thing to the judge.
No, please believe me. I don't even know how to hold a gun, let alone fire it and kill someone.
Hello? Hello?
Oh, Bill, you're here.
Is everyone deaf around here? My God, what's happened?
You'll believe me. I didn't do this. Please believe me.
I don't understand. Justin?
Look, Bill, I'll explain later. Could you telephone the station and ask Constable Biggs to come up here?
I will, but there is one thing I've got to tell you later.
It's all right,
Justin.
Bill. Later. Now, look, miss, we better get inside until the constable arrives. Look, miss, it's no good you telling me over and over again that you didn't do it. We have to let the court decide these things. Oh, hello, Bill.
The constable is on his way. He'll be here in a minute. No, Justin, you go.
Oh yes.
I'll
I'll tell you later. Miss Lucy is feeling decidedly unwell all of a sudden. Could you perhaps just pop upstairs and check on her for me?
Of course.
And while you're up there, would you mind sending Nora Padsworth down to see me? Thank you, Bill. Now?
What's going to happen now?
Oh, well, miss, I'll have to take you down to the station. After that, who knows what'll happen to you.
You wanted to see me, Inspector?
Ah, Miss Padsworth, hello, how are you? How is Miss Lucy?
Oh, Miss Lucy's asleep at the moment. You know, Inspector, you shouldn't have shouted at her like you did.
I know all I can say, miss, is that I'm sorry. You have to understand that I'm going through rather a difficult patch myself.
Yes, I do understand, Inspector.
Dr. Stoker and I will have to go to the station. Biggs will take Miss Margaret. You will be able to look after things here?
Yes, I'll be all right. Inspector, I've got some additional...
Oh, that'll be Constable Biggs now. Could you let him in, please?
Yes.
Ah, Biggs.
Inspector, if you'll excuse me, I'd like to look in on Fulton.
Yes, very well. You carry on, miss.
Here, sir. What's been going on round here?
The Reverend's been shot.
Shot, sir? Is he dead?
Of course he's dead, man. God, dear. Listen, take Miss Benedict down to the station. I'll be along to make formal charges later. Oh, and Biggs, do make sure that the vicar's body is removed from the garden. We don't want the neighbours looking at him, do we?
No, sir, no.
Miss Benedict, would you please get ready to go? Biggs, what do you want?
Well, sir, which room do you want me to stick the vicar's body in?
What do you mean, which room, man? Make arrangements to have him taken to the morgue. You know, Biggs, I sometimes wonder why you became a policeman.
Oh, well, sir, it was either that or my mother wanted me to become a surgeon.
I suppose you must be thankful that you're a policeman, then.
Oh, thank you very much.
I suppose, Inspector, if you're going to take me down to the station like some animal, we'd better leave now. Are you ready, Constable?
Very well, miss.
Oh, Biggs, just one more thing before you go.
Yes, sir.
Look after yourself.
Yes, sir.
Oh, Bill, I didn't see you.
Lucy's asleep and Nora's with her now. And I told Fulton what happened, and he was astounded. You know, it hits you harder when you don't know what's happening. And to think that you suspected him.
Oh, well, in my job, Bill, one has to make rash decisions, I'm afraid.
Well, Justin, your case is solved at last.
Certainly looks like it, Bill. Oh, Bill, what did you want to speak to me about?
Well, the place is beginning to smell of death. Can we take a walk?
Ah, that's a good idea, Bill. I have to walk to the station with you anyway, and a bit of fresh air will do us both the world of good. Let's go.
You know, Justin, I had a chat with that young Fulton Fraser chap, and there is one or two things I think you should know.
Like what?
Like, did you know that Edward Benedict and Anne-Marie were lovers?
I was beginning to wonder that myself, Bill, I was.
And that she stood to inherit all of his